Welcome back to Good Morning KU, the first Good Morning KU of the semester. I'm Andrew Collins.
And I'm Sydney Kolazinski.
And it's been a fun winter break so far. It's been exciting. What do you think? How has it been for you?
Well, I'm a little sleepy after staying up watching the Super Bowl and celebrating the Patriots losing last night. Who are you rooting for?
None of my teams really made it, so I jumped on the whole bandwagon of watching Tom Brady lose. But that's just me.
That was same for me. The Packers, unfortunately, didn't even make the playoffs, so I was going for the underdogs of the Eagles, but still love Bill Belichick. Think he's brilliant,
Yeah, there's no denying that.
Yeah, but one weird thing was that he did not play his cornerback, Butler, who in Super Bowl 50 had the game-sealing interception against the Seahawks. So I just found that very strange. And
I don't know, yeah. It seems as if he was punishing him, or it's hard to say.
Yeah, I just find the Super Bowl a very weird time to punish your cornerback who...
Yeah, this guy could be the difference in the game.
Exactly, yeah, so you never know.
Yeah, but it looked like a pretty good game from what I could see. I was stuck at work,
so
I had to do my work and then look at the monitor, and then do my work and then look at the monitor.
Luckily, you can still get good sense of the game with that way of watching it.
Yeah, and I'm more fortunate than a lot of people, because there's a lot of people who are just stuck at work and they have no monitor, have no way of really knowing what's going on with anything. Yeah,
but I guess last night was the highest yards in a Super Bowl, and by like a margin of 200 yards, it was wild. It was a very offensive game.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, because every time I looked up, it was like there was a different score.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, it was a fun game to watch, and I'm glad it was close. Like, it was a good, interesting...
Yeah, and I noticed at one point there was the strip sack that was done on Tom Brady.
Yeah, that was pretty much the game-sealing play right there, truly. I thought he should have won the MVP, but I love Nick Foles, too.
Yeah.
So. And also, it was the first time since Tom Brady that a quarterback started as the backup and came back to win the Super Bowl as a starting quarterback. So I found that kind of funny, coming back at Tom Brady.
Yeah, that's an interesting stat as well.
Yeah, but luckily those boys got to play indoors, since that's the rule about Super Bowls. They have to be hosted indoors, because it was chilly last night in Minnesota.
Yeah, I'll bet it was.
And I feel like that weather has come down and has gotten to us, because it was snowy yesterday.
Yeah, it snowed, it feels like a lot in a little amount of time.
Yeah, and I didn't even know it was supposed to snow. Clearly, I didn't check the weather, my fault. But I walked outside wearing shorts and flip-flops, and there was snow on the ground. So that was really fun to have to run back in and change before leaving.
It's not a good choice.
Yeah.
It was windy, too.
Yeah, it was so windy. I was just like, because it was so nice earlier this weekend, and then that snow came out of nowhere.
All of a sudden, yeah.
But
so that's the state of Kansas for you.
I guess so. You never know what's going to happen. So it was wild.
Yeah, here's the other thing about that weather. When I was driving out in it before I realized it was going to snow like that, and it got slick really quick too.
Yeah, I don't even know if the city was ready for it, because the roads
I don't think so.
The roads weren't plowed very quickly, so they had to prepare. It was insane.
Yeah, it was interesting day trying to get to work yesterday, for sure.
Yeah, do you work far away too? So
Across town.
Okay, yeah. And I saw an accident. There was an accident right outside of my apartment. A car fishtailed, so
oh wow,
it was a little dangerous. But hopefully we're done with the snow, even though 6 more weeks of winter after Groundhog's Day was
I forgot about Groundhog's Day. Yeah, 6 more weeks of winter.
Yep,
that's
unfortunately,
right.
Sadly. Hopefully it'll be a nice ease into spring. We'll get some good weather.
I hope so. I can only hope.
Yeah, but. Well, after the break, we'll be back with an interview.
Stay tuned.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you your identity for life. The University of Kansas. A great place to be you.
Back to Good Morning KU. I am here with Cal Butcher, who is the director of Media Crossroads. And Cal, how was your morning to start out with?
Cold. Wasn't it cold this morning?
Freezing.
I was amazed, yeah. Just getting up this morning, I knew it was going to be cold, but it was bitter cold this morning.
Yes, it definitely was. And so to begin with Media Crossroads, how did this concept begin?
I didn't actually start it. Another professor and the journalism school started it. They got a partnership with the union. They had a space to fill, so let's get the journalism school in there, so created a studio. Then I was hired, and it was meant to be something for everybody. The reason we called it Media Crossroads was it's a place where things come together. So the whole idea is that there are people out there who have a lot of stories to tell, and there are people in journalism who need practice telling stories. So if they come to the Crossroads, we can get people together.
Now the concept, like what we're doing, the Good Morning KU show, that only started within the last 3 or 4 years, if I'm not mistaken.
No, actually, excuse me. We went one semester where we just did productions, and then the second semester, so that would have been like fall of 2013. We did our very first Good Morning KU. And if I counted up the other day, I think this is about 700 and something that we have done now.
Wow.
And it was just an idea to get students involved. You know, I thought that we would go different directions, but it's kind of stayed standard. One of the students today asked about the opening video that we have.
Yeah.
I just made that in 5 minutes, real simple. I used the cheesiest music that I could have at the beginning, thinking that students would hate it and we would change it. But here we are, 700 shows in, and nobody's changed it.
Yeah, that opening to both Good Morning and Good Evening KU. That's a very distinct opening. It reminds me a lot of like Mr. Rogers, what I grew up with, and some of those other shows. Yeah. As far as the Good Morning KU show and Good Evening KU, when you began that, how many students did you start out with, usually?
I think the perfect number is about 10 to 12 students. Sometimes we've done shows with as little as 5 or 6, but the whole idea was just to get students involved. So the first semester we started, we did shows Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock with about 10 students on each show. So we had about 50 to 60 students that were on it. As students created their own shows and we added different shows throughout the day, it's kind of spread through and spread thin. So this semester we're only actually doing 3 Good Morning KU shows, and then we have a couple to 2 other shows that we need to do.
That's an interesting way that they're doing that with this semester, with not having as many shows. Yeah, I remember when I started, there was several. There was one for every day. There was a Good Morning, Good Evening for every day.
We still have shows every day. We just don't have Good Morning, Good Evening KU shows because they're kind of a catch-all for everybody to get to be on. We have created individual shows, so we also this semester have Off the Boulevard, which students do on their own, and Wake Up Call, which students do on their own. So we still have shows every day. They're just a little bit different.
I see. Well, and when we come back, the news, we will do the news. Thank you.
Welcome back, I'm Christian Hicks.
And I'm Lindsay Bizzoni. This is our first Good Morning KU news brief of the semester. Another Amtrak train crash is responsible for 2 deaths and hundreds of injuries in South Carolina. Governor Henry McMaster said it appeared that the Amtrak train was on the wrong track when it collided with the CSX freight train early Sunday morning, about 10 miles south of Columbia. This is the 3rd deadly train crash involving Amtrak in less than 2 months.
Televangelist Pat Robinson is recovering after suffering a stroke this weekend in Virginia. According to the Christian Broadcasting Network, a family member recognized the symptoms of a stroke and helped rush this 87-year-old to a nearby hospital. The founder of the network and the 700 Club is expected to make a full recovery.
Competing protests in Lawrence on Saturday could have turned ugly, but Lawrence police reported relatively calm and just 1 arrest. The day began with the promotion of the Drag the Flag protest of the perceived injustices scheduled on Mass Street. Despite the question as to where that announcement originated, a counter-protest was rallied by a Defend the Flag movement. Members carrying Confederate flags marched downtown to the additional protests from residents and members of the Black Lives Matter movement. Police monitored the event and made sure it remained peaceful.
It was the most offensive Super Bowl ever, in a good way. The Patriots and the Eagles combined for more than 1,150 yards and 74 points. Tom Brady alone threw for 505 yards, and New England still lost. Former Chiefs backup Nick Foles threw for 373 yards himself to lead Philadelphia to the 41-33 victory in the Super Bowl 52.
And as always, the celebrity commercials and the halftime show made news of their own. Doritos and Mountain Dew featured Peter Dinklage and Morgan Freeman in a rap contest, while M&M's turned to Danny DeVito for comedic appeal. The NFL may have won the night with Eli Manning and Odell Beckham Jr. recreating a pivotal scene from Dirty Dancing. Justin Timberlake performed a halftime to mixed reviews. The halftime show featured a controversial tribute to Minneapolis native Prince.
In KU sports, the men's basketball team lost a heartbreaker on Saturday while celebrating the 120th year of Kansas basketball. After falling behind early, the Jayhawks eventually lost 84-79 to Oklahoma State. With the loss, KU fell to the 2nd place in the Big 12 Conference. Both KU and Texas Tech are 7-3, but the Red Raiders owned the tiebreaker with their victory over the Jayhawks earlier this season.
The women's team also lost to Oklahoma State this weekend, falling 92-63 in Stillwater. The Lady Jayhawks have lost 9 games in a row and now have a record of 11-12 on the season. They are off until Saturday night when they play Oklahoma in Allen Fieldhouse.
The men's and women's track team competed in Lexington, Kentucky this weekend, and it turned in some great performances. Bryce Hoppel, Barton Adams, Hussein Azim each won their events on the men's side, while Sharon Lukiti and Adia Eberly claimed victories for the women. You can visit the KU Athletics website for the full results.
And that will wrap it up for today's news update. After the break, Julie will be here to tell us about how much snow fell yesterday, just how cold it is this morning, and the forecast for the week. Please keep watching.
When you shop local in the heart of the city, you support the people that make our community thrive. The money you spend here stays here, in this place we call our home. Lawrence, Kansas, where there's good old-fashioned hometown pride. Eat local, drink local, shop local.
Welcome back. I'm Julie Cullen, and let's take a look at your forecast for today. 2 inches of snow fell in Lawrence yesterday, and that winter weather is not stopping this week. It's 11 degrees right now outside and mostly cloudy. We have a slight breeze, 5 to 10 miles per hour. And we're going to warm up pretty quickly today, starting off at 19 degrees at 11 o'clock. We'll warm up to our day high at 3 p.m. We're going to get to 33 degrees, and it's going to fall throughout the rest of the day, ending at 27 degrees at 7 p.m. Looking at our extended forecast on Tuesday, we're going to have another chance of snow. So if you're going to that TCU game, make sure you're bundled up and ready for that. We're going to warm up to our midweek high at 47 degrees on Thursday, and then end the week with another chance of snow on Saturday. Looking at our snowfall for Tuesday, it's predicted a 60% chance of snow at 1 to 3 inches of accumulation. Thanks for joining us on Good Morning KU. I'm Julie Cullen, and stay warm out there.